Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, July 15th, 2020. You have the second installment of Think, and going to be a little short today, a little brief today, but just wanted to touch on a couple of things that popped up. Uh, the Alabama GOP Senate primary. I think it was interesting how Tommy Tuberville, who was backed by Donald Trump, went against the former Attorney General, Donald Trump's former Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, and Trump uh, put his backing behind Tuberville. Tuberville won by about 20% of the vote. So I think it was pretty interesting. I think it indicates the strength of Donald Trump's tailwinds still being there. I think it speaks to the silent majority that's in this country that is probably laying low, trying to stay out of the way of some of these less than tolerant uh, individuals who run on the or who profess to be uh, very understanding and very tolerant and very concerned with other people's feelings until you disagree with theirs. Then they're not so they're not so tolerant. Um, to that to that point, I also saw that the Rasmussen report today. The race has tightened between Biden and Trump, according to that poll. I think Biden had been up by about 14 points or 12 points, and that's tightened by about 7 points. I think it's 47-43 now in favor of Biden and getting tighter. Those are likely voters. And again, I think that those polls got to be taken with a grain of salt. You can ask Hillary about that. I'm still planning on watching the election on MSNBC like I did 4 years ago, so I can watch the gnashing of the teeth and the tearing of the sackcloth as the results were released. I think you could see a Trump victory attuned to what Nixon Mondale was. I think you could see a landslide of that magnitude if a couple of chips fall into place. So I think we're doing well there. I think also that I was listening to, on the flip side, I was listening to Donald Trump's press conference, if you want to call it, at the Rose Garden yesterday afternoon. Not impressed with with the whole thing. I do think it was off base. I think it was inappropriate. I think it was a campaign rally more than anything else. Um, he, it gets a little old, the patting yourself on the back and repeating the same things over and over again. But again, we have to overlook some of these flaws. None of us are perfect. Everyone has their things, their flaws, but overall, the uh, the only choice remains Donald Trump. If we're interested in the welfare of this country, if we're interested in law and order, if we're interested in a vibrant and booming economy, if we're interested in bringing unemployment down as far as possible, um, I don't think you're ever going to see 3.5% unemployment again. And it leads to another interesting point. Yesterday in the Rose Garden, Donald Trump hit on some bullet points of Joe Biden's economic plan. And I haven't seen the plan, but going on what I heard, if it's accurate, um, Biden and the Democrats want to put an emphasis on increase of low-skilled immigration and extend welfare and health benefits to immigrants, legal, illegal immigrants, anyone crosses the border and gets in here is going to have certain safeguards. Wants to provide taxpayer funded legal defense for any illegal immigrants, probably all the way to the Supreme Court. So that's a check, a blank check that we would be signing as taxpayers, because you know that the immigration, with such loose mandates, the immigration is going to be nonstop. They're all going to go to court, and we're going to be funding that. So that's not going to be unacceptable. That's not going to be acceptable. And the emphasis on allowing low-skilled labor in, I think if you look at what's happening in this country right now with technology, I've seen some reports, a Denver-based restaurant chain, Good Times, came across with a report that they're replacing their cashiers with artificial intelligence. Another Cali Burger out of California, burger chain, using a robot named Flippy to flip about 2,000, up to 2,000 burgers a day. Won't need burger flippers. Wendy's going to self-cleaning kitchens, self-cleaning ovens. Technology is replacing labor. We have an unemployment problem right now that was caused by the reaction to the Hong Kong flu, of shutting down this country, and it fast-tracked technology. So there's a blessing in disguise. It did fast-track the technology, but that fast-tracking also means that all those jobs are not coming back. One out of every 8 available jobs in this country was hospitality-based. A lot of those jobs are going to be replaced by autonomous robotics, by technology. So couple that with this Democrat hell-bent desire to increase immigration and have even more competition in this country for the jobs that will be available. It makes absolutely no sense. It's not a sound foundation. And it's going to hurt the people who the Democrats, the minorities, more than anyone. It's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt the people on the lower end of the income brackets. It's going to hurt them the most. And the Democrats, as is their history, they always are saying all they're going to do for everyone, for the people who need the most help, but everything that they implement, or much of what they implement, has just the opposite effect. So those are things that caught my attention yesterday, and I think there are things that we will need to look at carefully and make sure that the voting public understands the impact of a lot of these platforms that we have the Democrats running on. But obviously, you know, the objective here is bring in immigrants, illegal immigrants, allow them to stay here, put them on welfare, put them on taxpayer-funded medical care, give them handouts, basically. Instead of teaching to fish, give them a fish every day. And with that in mind, you create a voter that says, I'm going to keep voting Democrat because I don't want the spigot turned off of handouts. And there's no reason to try to better or educate yourself or seek better employment. It's not going to be as prevalent when you're able to stay home and basically receive checks and have your basic needs covered while living in a country that affords you many luxuries just by being here. So it's a vote buying scheme using your dollars and my dollars and everyone's taxpayer dollars to pay to people who've never paid into the system a penny. to buy their votes. And so they vote for the Democrats. And that's what that is. In closing, I also, have seen some more reports about statues being taken down and the Redskin logo, which was, by the way, designed by a Native American, and something that they're very proud of. They were very proud of that logo, the design, and also what it meant and what it symbolized. But you hear a lot of talk. Texas Rangers are offensive. The Atlanta Braves are offensive. Is Che Guevara offensive? Because I was out this weekend and saw a T-shirt with Che Guevara on it. Murdering, lying, assassin. Is that offensive? Are we going to allow that shirt to be sold, that image to be sold? That image is everywhere. I find it offensive. It's offensive to Cuban Americans. It's offensive, I think, to anyone that really knows who he was, the murderer that he was, the bigot called blacks monkeys, homophobe. And you see his image everywhere, and I don't see anyone. I've seen Jay-Z wearing his shirt. I don't see anyone discussing eliminating that image. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like I said, I'm going to be short today, and gave you a couple of thoughts, and look forward to seeing you again. And again, like I said, not opposed to hearing opposing points of view. Would love to see where there's holes in the equation, and look forward to hearing from you. Please follow, and your support is appreciated. Thank you.